Hey everyone, welcome to the show today. You are listening, of course, to Short Sale Radio with the Short Sale Strategist. My name is Marcus Simmons, along with my wife, Gloria Simmons, who is, by the way, the Short Sale Strategist. We'd like for you, first of all, take a little time out, like and subscribe, share this information with family, friends, loved ones, anyone you may know who might be dealing with some of these issues that we are discussing here during these programs. Today, of course, we're going to discuss some of the main reasons why homeowners end up losing their homes unnecessarily to foreclosure. And our expert, my wife, the very beautiful Gloria Simmons, who is, by the way, the short sale strategist. She is here to share some insights on the topic. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, listen, we had a lot of feedback from a couple of the previous shows, and I think this one is going to really get into some meat here. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the main reasons why homeowners may bury their heads in the sand and not work with their banks when they are facing foreclosure.
Well, there are several reasons why this is happening. First of all, homeowners may feel embarrassed or ashamed that they are actually struggling to make a mortgage payment. And there's a lot of social stigma when it comes to foreclosure.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, so this can lead to some sort of sense of isolation and inaction, which means they freeze. They pull the shades down and close the curtains. And they are in denial. We talked about that before. They're in denial and they don't want to believe that this is happening. But mainly the first thing that happens is that they're embarrassed. They're ashamed. And they don't want, their friends and family to know that this is going on with them.
Makes perfect sense. What else?
Well, largely, nowhere in our education has any homeowner who's bought a home been taught about what happens if you are going to lose your home. So there's an overall lack of understanding about the foreclosure process and about any options available to them. So a homeowner may not know where to turn for help, and they might actually be afraid to ask for the assistance.
I can understand where that could be a problem. Asking for assistance is probably not easy. It's not something that anyone really, really wants to do. There's a pride factor that's involved. But what about things like trust? Are there trust issues? Is that a factor too?
Absolutely. Homeowners, they don't trust their lenders or the foreclosure process, which is going to basically cause a kind of a domino effect, because if they don't trust the lender, then that's going to lead them to avoid working with their bank to seek assistance. So they may procrastinate, receive misinformation about their options, and this is going to lead to some poor decision making, because they may reach out to some friends who don't know, anything about the foreclosure process, who don't know anything about how the banks work. And so it's like the blind leading the blind.
I was going to say it was probably because of asking people who probably, and I'm using the term in its context, not to degrade anyone, but they are talking to other people who are just as ignorant as they are. And when I say that, I simply mean a lack of knowledge. They are ignorant about the entire process themselves, and that can lead to a lot of poor decision making. That makes perfect sense. Here's a big one though. All right, I've experienced it. I think you've probably experienced it as well. What about denial?
Yes, this is when a homeowner is basically going to stick their head in the sand and just go about life like this is not happening, and denial is a major factor. Homeowners may believe that they will be able to somehow or another, catch up the mortgage, despite evidence to the contrary, and this is going to cause them to take further delays in taking action. They may think, okay, well, if they've lost the job, well, I'm going to get another job, and I'm going to, catch everything up, and And, then they will just, the letters are coming in the mail, the phone calls are coming from the bank, and they are just basically ignoring everything that basically points to you're in trouble. And that is basically just a big, red flag, and it's called denial.
Yeah, denial. It makes a lot of sense. Thanks, short sale strategists. Sharing these insights, I think, is very, very helpful. It's also very, very important. I think if you're listening and you're a homeowner, we want you to understand the reasons why these things can happen. We want you to understand that there's also help. There's also ways you can reach out. We want to encourage you to do just that. Now, I know, Gloria, in your varied experience, you have dealt with short sales, and you've also dealt with the stigma behind them, not only on a professional level, but on a personal level as well. So with what you have experienced, how important is it? I mean, just stressing right now, the fact that people need to take action. They need to reach out. They need to not sit back and wait until calamity just swallows them up.
Well, it's important because the longer you wait, the less options that you're going to have. Simply put, if you wait until the weekend before the foreclosure is happening that next week, we may not be able to help you to get the foreclosure stopped, to start exploring some options for you and give you time to devise a strategy to help yourself and your family to relocate or things of that nature, which means you're going to cause yourself undue stress by delaying the inevitable, by reaching out. So reaching out is going to also help you feel empowered. Once you reach out and you kind of overcome that mental hurdle of being stuck or just being in denial about it, I have seen where a lot of homeowners, they really feel empowered about their situation. They feel like, okay, I'm doing something about it. I'm not just sitting here and just swirling down the bowl. And so there's so many different reasons why you do want to reach out, because there may be some options out there that you're not aware of. And you reach out to an expert who actually knows their way around the banking system, as we happen to know. Everybody's situation is going to be different, but basically there's different directions that we can point you to. However, if you wait to the last minute, then those options start to diminish.
Yeah. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, you may be facing a tough time with your home right now, but we're encouraging you to press, lean in, rely on this word, and know that you can have a hope and a great future once you exit that home, because God has so much more for you. Listen, we want to leave you with this, and it comes from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, where the word says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you future and a hope." Yeah, that's from Jeremiah 29 and 11. Marcus Simmons here, along with Gloria Simmons, the short sale strategist. Remember, the web address is theshortsalestrategist.com. We also encourage you, as I said at the beginning of the program, we want to thank you for listening. We'd love for you to like, subscribe, share this information with family, friends, associates, anyone you know who may be going through a tough time. Encourage them to reach out, because we would love to show how we can help them in situations like this. Gloria, thank you so much as always.
Oh, it's always my pleasure.
Your expertise is very, very needed in times like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you've enjoyed today's version or today's episode here on the Short Sale Strategist with Short Sale Radio. We'll catch up with you next time.